We're back. Sorry about that, everybody. I was having some major stream difficulties, and then the tiny infant child with brass knuckles ended up waking up. I knew it was too good to be true when he fell asleep early. Yeah, but I am ready for a night of macrobee, suspense, terror, a twisted tale to haunt your dreams forever. So who in the stream is up? Who dares to be the first honorable sacrifice? I mean victim. I mean adventure. Who ye out there be brave enough to survive one of my tales? A twisted tale I tell. Oh, I'll wait. Don't all get in a line now. One at a time, please. Raise your hand if you have to. Um, I really need to start RSVPing this segment, but it would help if the microphone were just a little bit closer like this. Okay, cool. Well, all right. Well, while we wait for a brave adventurer, I can at least talk about the weekly plans. So, while we wait for everyone to hop in and I get the stream hopping, I'll go. If anyone wants. Ooh, we have our first Death Show creep. You are brave indeed. We're getting this night hopping. All right. So, before I take us away to our humble manner, I do gotta say, let me sneeze off. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay. So, plans. We have a Marvel anniversary stream. Sorry. Rock, paper, scissors, says Team Puffins and Dead Shell Creep. Let me see. I lost my train of thought. Curse my sneeze. Oh yeah. Marvel Snap stream coming this Friday. Potentially. You lose, Dead Shell Creep. Perhaps. There are going to be another round of Twitch drops. This time you're going to get a premium variant, or is it a regular mystery variant? But either way, I will be streaming this Friday. So far, I haven't gotten any confirmation that I'm going to be scheduling that around. Was going to do another Marvel learn to speak. Words are hard. I was going to do another Marvel Snap stream on Sunday, but plans have changed. I mean, I still can do it. It'll have to be in the evening as opposed to in the early afternoon like I wanted. So Marvel Snap stream Friday night, Marvel Snap stream Sunday night, and we will go from there. But yes. And then I have spooky board games lined up with some stream guests coming up this Saturday. Look forward to that. I'm waiting to get the exact time from my guests, but we will be playing Betrayal at House on Haunted Hill, and perhaps even, wait for it, Dead by Daylight, the board game. We must catch up on the channel of the YouTube. Yes, I must also mention the channel of the YouTube. I really got to get better at advertising that. Before we go into our tale of macrobee, I can actually do that. Give me a second. So, if if everything goes according to plan. There we go. You should see. Disregard the link to the Discord. Shouldn't work. I finally locked it down. It's gonna go behind a paid subscription tier, so only subscribers will get a link to the Discord. I've been teasing it all month for about a while now. I finally started locking things down, so gonna be starting a subscriptions, Patreon, that kind of a thing. You know, certain dollar amount tier will get you access to the Discord. That has already begun. But you can click to join my main YouTube channel, Eggo the Visual Culturist, and you can check out the stream archives, the Eggo the Visual Culturist stream archives, where you can find every single past stream I have in a archived format of all games I've played ever on stream. Going up on the main channel, I have some reactions. I recently reacted to Destiny, Destiny Rising, the mobile game coming out soon, next year. Pre-alpha starts next month if you're selected. I did a reaction to Steins Gate, the 15th anniversary. Steins Gate 3 was teased. We got a small, or maybe it was a huge teaser. I don't know. You got to check the video to find out. I reacted to some board game streams from one of my favorite game publishers / companies, Renegade Games. They do the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid game I love so much. Go check out my reactions to a really bombshell drop announcement that I didn't see coming. Go check that out for Rangers Eternal. Due out next year around this time, 2026. And I also have an actual play or a let's play of one of my new games from the Tubaru system, Bad Karmas and the Curse of the Zodiac. Me and stream guest Kiwi went through the Zodiac challenge for the campaign, and we successfully defeated 2 Zodiacs, and maybe even a third. You'll have to go watch the Let's Plays to find out, but they're up on the stream. One is up. I got an unboxing for Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. I believe Time Force. So that one's a really great team. Go check out my review, my thoughts. It's a little in depth, trying to get them more, just than standard unboxings. I kind of give it like a mid review in it. So it's a unboxing with my review, initial opinions, that kind of a thing. Worked really hard in this video, so please go watch them. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Tell me if you liked it. Tell me what you didn't like. I'm waiting for feedback. So far, people have liked the videos. I've gotten thumbs up. People have told me good job, both friends and family. But, share it with your friends. If you're into board games, just tell me what you think. Please be honest. I'm, trying to work better and improve my craft as I go forward. But let me just catch up with the chat really quick. So, my Disney Plus annual account went to $80 in 2022, to $140 in 2023. Now they're charging $160 in 2024. Fuck Disney Plus. The small infant child is chatting on the tablet. Indeed, the small infant child with brass knuckles. He does what he wants. Okay, sorry, had to hydrate. So, let's get this started. So, without further ado, let's begin. Twisted Tail, as I said, I am ready. Anyone does jailbroken fire sticks. All right, those be the thing. They be out there. They be out there. Everyone knows the guy. It's like those jailbroken Wii's with like 5 jillion games. They be out there. Riff in the chat. All right. Well, let's do this. So, without further ado, I now present to you, if I can time this right, let me go ahead and also get down the I left the throne wish list. Oh, never mind. I guess that has to stay. Oh, wait. Never mind. Okay. Nope. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. A little bit cleaner of a setup. I gotta promote us. We'll work on the promotion next month for sure. All right. I swear I got this. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Ah, we're back. Welcome to this one of my favorite rooms in my house for this time of year. Complete with ghoulish sounds and whatnot. We am too. Yes, we am too. Venom: The Last Dance be coming out soon. Excellent, excellent. We're nearly ready. I have but one more thing to do. I have to let in the Hollow Eve spirit. Or the spirit of Halloween. However you say that. I must do it. Okay, let's try it. Let it begin. Perfect. Please let me know if anything needs to be rebalanced and as such. Now we'll get right to work. But hopefully we can hear everything. My fireplace crackling. The Hollow spirit is strong with us tonight. Are you afraid of the dark? Who here has a fear of the dark? Are you afraid of death? As the tiny infant child with brass knuckles is afraid not. But Dead Shall Creep was very brave. He volunteered for tonight's adventure. I ask him now to be choosing a number, and I'm going to give you your options. To be choosing a number. I ain't afraid of shit. He ain't afraid of sheets. It's true. Very brave he is. Very brave indeed. Some might say foolishly brave. Okay, so Dead Shall Creep. Please for me choose a number between 1 and 11. The first step in sealing your doom. Please, I ask for you to choose a number between 1 and 11. Never forget, Mumble number 5. Not 4, Dead Shall Creep. Indeed, we shall never let that down. Ooh, he chose 10. Excellent. Good choice. You shall remember it fondly after this night. Okay. You chose 10. We begin our tale. Is it a good, bad choice? We shall find out. The lightning strikes tonight as the dead walk. We begin our tale. School's out, you yell gleefully, leaning on the handlebars of your bicycle. You gaze at your best friends, Jason and Stacy. What should we do today? Jason and Stacy are twins. Both have blonde hair and blue eyes. But that's about the only way they're alike. Let's ride around the park, Jason suggests. Boring, Stacy responds. Let's go someplace new. As always, you make the decision. We'll go that way, you say, pointing north of the park. You race up the wide boulevard on your bicycles. Soon you're in a part of town you've never seen before. I heard this was the oldest part of the city, Jason says. Some of the houses go back to pioneer days. That one looks like it goes back to the dinosaurs, you joke. You point at a high, crumbling brick wall. All you can see of the houses behind it is a rotting roof. A sign by the front gate says, "Please come in." You turn to your friends. Let's check it out. You turn back to the gate and stop in shock because the sign now says, "Danger." You rub your eyes. Did you read the sign correctly? Then you see that it's loose. It turns slowly in the wind back to the side that says, "Please come in." "Let's go in," Stacy says, excitedly. "Are you nuts?" Jason cries. "The sign says danger." As usual, you decide. "I want to see what's inside," you declare. The rusty gate is open a crack. You push it all the way open and enter. You find yourselves in a weedy yard with grass as high as your knees. Beyond the lawn stands a huge old 3-story house. Paint peels from every wall. The porch sags. Several of the windows are boarded up. "It looks haunted," Jason says nervously. Stacy rolls her eyes. "Shh. There's no such thing," she responds. "I'll bet no one's lived here in a long time." You step into the sagging porch and peer in the front window. It's so dirty you can't see anything inside. Then a strong, bony hand clamps around your wrist. Your heart thuds. A fierce-looking old man is holding your wrist. He's totally bald. A bushy white beard hangs down to his chest. His dark eyes squint behind thick glasses. "It's about time you got here. I've been waiting all morning. I'm Professor Shock," the old man says. "Are you ready to start work?" "What do you mean?" you demand, pulling away from him. Professor Shock frowns. "Aren't you from Acme Cleanup?" "No," Stacy tells him. "We were riding around and saw your gate was open." "Oh," Professor Shock seems disappointed. "The people from Acme were supposed to clean my garage," he explains. "But they didn't show up. Why don't I hire you kids? It's not hard work. And I'll pay you 50 doll hairs." You glance at the twins. "That's a lot of money." Jason nods eagerly. "Sure, we'll be glad to." "Wonderful," Professor Shock replies. "Right this way." You follow the old man to the backyard, then you see the garage. Then you wonder if you've made a horrible mistake. The garage is as big as a barn and packed with junk, moldy old furniture, rotting cardboard boxes, piles of rags, a rusted out car, and that's just in the front part. "You want us to clean this out?" Stacy asks. "It'll be easy," Professor Shock says cheerfully. He hands you brooms and trash bags. "I'll check back later. Oh, one thing," he adds. "Whatever you do, don't go in the back room. He points to a partially open green door at the back of the garage. But Stacy cries, too late. He's gone. Even when your friends gaze at the incredible mass of junk. Is the money really worth it? Let's get started, you say with a sigh. You find a wheelbarrow, a loaded pile of old newspapers into it. Stacy pushes a broom in the back of the garage. Jason carries boxes to the front. Oh no, Stacy suddenly calls. My ring slipped off my finger, and it rolled right into the back room. You and Jason hurry to the back of the garage. You glance toward the front. No sign of Professor Shock. Come on, you say. Let's find the ring. But when you step through the green door, you forget all about Stacy's ring. The room is packed with electronic gadgets and toys. Every shelf and table holds a cool-looking machine. Lights flash, circuits buzz, a blackboard is covered with mathematical formulas. The walls are plastered with diagrams of machines. I bet Professor Shock is an inventor, Stacy exclaims. This must be his workshop. What do all these things do? Jason wonders. You're studying two huge switches on the back wall. One's red, one's white. From the red switch, a red wire leads to the back of an 8-foot-tall copper robot. A white cable from the white switch leads to a high-tech pinball machine. It looks like the coolest game you've ever seen. You already know you're going to pull one of the switches. The only question is, which switch? Stacy's mom has got it going. That's a deep cut. More on that later. So, do you pull the red switch to the robot, or do you try the white switch to the pinball machine? The choice is yours, Deathshell Creep. Have you no fear? Robot or pinball machine? He's a pinball wizard. Alright, here we go. Pinball wizard it is. You decide to try the white switch. You love pinball. Who wants to challenge the pinball wizard? You call and flip the switch. Nothing happens. The machine doesn't light up. There's no noise. No flashing lights. No ka-ching. Nothing. I don't believe it, you grumble, smacking the machine. You're about to hit it again when you see the movement of out of the corner of your eye. The green door. It's opening. Professor Shock, you can't let him find you here. Back here, Stacy whispers. She pulls you and Jason behind the pinball machine. You squeeze in front of the machine and an old dusty mirror laying against the wall. Your elbow knocks against the mirror. Suddenly, lights begin to flash. Sirens go off. The mirror begins to vibrate. Horrified, you run your hands over the mirror's frame. How can you turn the thing off? But soon you stop worrying about that. You've got bigger problems. A weird invisible force is sucking you into the mirror. Wind roars past your ears. It's as if you're caught in a tornado. You can't see your legs anymore. They're inside the mirror. You grab the frame and hang on. Invisible forces rip at your fingers, trying to pry them loose. Stacy, Jason, you scream. Help me! But your friends are screaming too. They're being pulled into the mirror with you. You're inside as far as your neck now. Then a wrinkled face appears, framed by the back legs of the pinball machine. It's Professor Shock. He peers at you. Help us, you shout. I can't, he screams. I told you to stay away. There's no way out of there unless you find the... Pop. Your hand loses the grip, and the professor vanishes. Find the what? You shout, but it's too late. The professor is gone. The roaring wind stops. You land spiraling on a slick, hard floor. The twins plop down beside you. What happened? Jason cries. Where are we? You gaze around. The room you're in has no doors or windows. The only decorations on the gray walls are two built-in mirrors. We came through the mirror, you say slowly. You're trying to stay calm. That's impossible, Stacy objects. Look around, you order. There's no other way in. And no way out, Jason wails. The three of you stare at each other. Impossible as it seems, you're inside the mirror. and you're trapped. Jason jumps up. Help! I want out! Hold on, you call. Don't panic. There's gotta be a way out, Stacy declares. You stare at the mirrors. An idea is forming in your mind. If it came in through the mirrors, maybe that's the way out too. Maybe we can escape through one of these mirrors. But which one? Jason demands. You study the two mirrors. The one on your right seems ordinary. It reflects you and the twins. The one on your left is a different story. In fact, you wonder if there's a hidden movie projector in the room, because the mirror shows a peaceful country meadow full of grazing cows. Which mirror will you try? You want to go to the country scene? Or do you pick the one that has the reflection of you and your friends? As always, the choice is yours. I'm a little bit country and a little bit of rock and roll. Excellent, excellent. I think you've made your choice perfectly. Country it is. Do a flip. Little, welcome to our tales of terror. Maybe you have what it takes to survive the next adventure. You're fascinated by the mirror showing the country scene. Let's try this one, you say. If we don't like what we find, we can always come back. The twins agree. Try not to feel silly. You poke your left front foot at the glass. Hey, it goes right through. The glass feels rubbery. It's like walking through a bowl of jello. Your arms and legs tingle. And then you're on the other side. You glance around. You're in a flower-dotted field. Jason and Stacy are beside you. Warm sun pours down. Birds are singing in the distance. Cows munch on grass. But there's something wrong with the whole scene. The grass. It's blue, Jason cries. And the sky is green. He's right. And now that you know what to look for, you notice that the cows are red and yellow, while the flowers are spotted black and white. The colors are reversed, backward. Where are we? Stacy cries. Who cares? Jason says. I want to go back. He turns around, then he gasps. The mirror, he shouts. Where's the mirror? Jason's right. The mirror has vanished. You can't go back to the little room. We'll be fine, Stacy declares. Professor Shock said all we have to do is get out of here is to find something, right? He didn't say what we need to find, Jason retorts. We're trapped, maybe forever. You sure hope Jason's wrong. You stare around. There must be some clue, something that'll tell you what to do next. Then across the field you spot a green sign. It looks like a regular road sign, except that there's no road nearby. Maybe that sign will tell us something, you suggest. Stacy immediately races towards the sign. You and Jason take off after her. Tall blue grass tickles your ankles. It feels good to run until you realize that something is wrong. You've been running for several minutes, but the sign looks farther away than when we started, you blurt out. You and your friend stop running and turn to gaze back the way you came. You've definitely covered some ground. Weird, Stacy pants. Maybe it's an optical illusion? Jason suggests. Before you can reply, something grunts right behind you. Stacy peeks over her shoulder. Don't look now, she whispers, but there's a bull behind us and he's grouchy. Of course you spin around at once. Stacy wasn't joking. The red and yellow bull is the biggest you've ever seen. His gleaming horns must be 2 feet long. They look even bigger because he's only 10 feet away, crawling with ground, with a nasty glare in his little red eyes. Run! Jason screams. The 3 of you pelt across the field back the way you just came. It's after us, Jason reports. Glancing back, you've got to move faster. You pour on even more speed, but when you take a look over your shoulder, you see that the furious bull is gaining on you. The faster we run, the closer it gets, Stacy gasps. That doesn't make any sense. You think, or does it? Turn around, you shout. Huh? Jason gasps. Did you happen to notice we're being chased by a raging bull? I think I know how to beat him, you pant. How? Stacy demands. Run toward him, you exclaim. We're in a mirror world. Things are backwards here, like the colors, so maybe this chase is backwards too. Maybe if we run towards the bull, we'll get away from him. Stacy disagrees. That's crazy. Let's split up and keep running away. The bull can't chase all 3 of us. Maybe Stacy's plan is better than yours. If only you had a little time to think it over. But you don't. Quick, make a decision now. Do you run toward the bull that you'll creep? Or do you split up and keep running away? The choice is yours. Or do you do a flip? Like Little suggested. Yes. To face the bull or to run away. Indeed, what can be done. We're in a mirror world. Rip a fat line. And then head for the bull. Bull. Damn autocorrect. Alright. Towards the bull it is. I know I'm right, you shout. Turn around. You're crazy, Jason wails, but he does what you say. You spin to face the bull. He's charging straight at you. His horns look as sharp as his shish kebab skewers. What if you're wrong? Too late to think that way. You've made your choice. So you sprint towards the bull. The twins run on either side of you yelling. You blink. Is it your imagination? Or is the bull a little bit further away? Yes! You shout triumphantly. With every step you take, the bull gets smaller. In a minute, it's a speck in the distance. Then it vanishes completely. It worked! Stacy cries. I feel sick. Jason groans. You laugh. Let's go find the road sign and see if we can go back home again. The sign is as far away as it ever was, but now you know how to get to it. All we have to do is walk in the wrong direction, you point out. Cool, let's go, Stacy says. In a few minutes, you reach the sign. It says, this place holds the key. Discover the Queen's mirror, and you'll soon be home free. An arrow points ahead into a thick, dark forest. Palace, Stacy exclaims. The Queen? Who wrote this, you ask? What does it mean? I think it's for us, Jason announces. I think it means that the way home is through the palace. Jason must be some kind of timid, but he's pretty smart. Sounds good to me, you declare. Let's go. By walking in the opposite direction, you and the twins are soon in the forest. It's a gloomy place. The trees are so thick that hardly any light can get through. Long, slimy, purple-leafed vines choke the path. You hear things moving in the bushes. Arrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr and a growl. What's that noise? Jason cries. I don't know, you whisper. Aroo! The sound is louder now, closer. Even Stacy is scared. Maybe we should go back, she says. We stop and glance back. Thick vines have grown over the place you walk. The path is gone. You try to break the vines apart, but they grow back instantly. You gulp. We'll have to keep going, you assert. Aroo! This time the howl is so loud, the ground shakes. Your eyes dart around fearfully. You can't see anything through these thick vines. What's out there? Come on, Jason cries. He takes off running, your heart thudding. You tear after him. Stacy's right behind you. Ahead of you, Jason stops so fast that you plow right into him. Then Stacy plows into you. The three of you sprawl on the ground in a pile. When you untangle yourselves, you see what made Jason stop. There's a fork in the path. On the right branch, a sign says Palace of Mirrors. A sign on the left says Lorio. The palace, Stacy cries. Let's go! You start to follow her, but then you remember something. Wait, you call. Lots of things in this world are backwards. What if the signs are backwards too? I see what you mean, Jason exclaims. The path to the palace might actually be the path to Lorio. What's a Lorio anyway? Asks Stacy. Jason shudders. I hope we don't find out. Aroo! Hurry, Stacy urges. Pick one of the paths. It's up to you, dead shell creep. If you think the path labeled Palace of Mirrors will lead you to the palace, then go for it. But if you think the path labeled Lorio will take you to the palace, which one do you think is correct? The one labeled Palace or the one labeled Lorio? Problem, of course, is choice. Yeah. Erner! There must be another way, Hermione. L'Oreal it is. To much groans of the tiny infant child with brass knuckles. You choose the path that says L'Oreal. In this backward world, you're sure you'll find the palace that way. As you hurry along the left-hand path, the hideous sound grows fainter. You relax. Soon you'll reach the palace. Then, somehow, you'll find your way home. The problem is you aren't getting anywhere. After walking for at least an hour, you're still in the woods. You peer ahead. All you can see is more woods. I'm tired, Jason complains. I'm thirsty, Stacy adds. You push through a tangle of leaves and then you stop. Oh no, Jason groans. You and your bright ideas. Stacy snaps at you. What's the matter? You've emerged from the forest into a meadow. In the center stands a big yellow striped tent. A sign over the tent doorway says, "See the amazing Lorio." The sign on the path wasn't backwards after all. The palace must be the other way. Let's start walking back, Jason grumpily states. Wait, Stacy exclaims. I want to see the Lorio. You're curious yourself. Me too, you tell Jason. You step up to the doorway of the tent. A thin man in a tall black hat holds up his hand to you to stop you. Tickets, he demands. Where do we buy them, you ask. Buy them, the man repeats. He laughs. What an idea. You don't buy them. I give them to you. You should have guessed. It's backwards. The man hands each of you a ticket. Have a seat inside, he says. The Lorio will appear shortly. You step through the doorway. The inside of the tent is lined with mirrors, and one of them looks exactly like the mirror you came through to enter this backwards world. You rush up to it. Maybe your problems are over. You gaze into the mirror, hoping to see the world you came from, the real world. Instead, you see nothing. There's no reflection inside this mirror. Behind the glass, there's just nothing. Creepy, Stacy mutters. What kind of mirror is this? A backwards mirror, you answer with a sigh. But maybe we can't step through it. Maybe it'll take us back home. I doubt it, Jason says gloomily. We still haven't found out whatever Professor Shock told us to find. But let's try it. I don't want to go yet. I want to see the Lario, Stacy objects. Come on, let's sit down. No, let's go, Jason whines. You're feeling cranky yourself. Should you just give up on the Lario and try the mirror? Or would you rather wait for the Lario after all? Which will you do? Will you go through the mirror? Or would you wait? Wait he does. We'll wait for the Lario, you decide. You remember what happened the last time you stepped through a mirror. It's too risky to try without knowing what you're doing. You and Jason seat yourself. Stacy, of course, has too much energy to stay in one place. She wanders around the tent, peering into all the other mirrors. Hey, look at this, guys, she calls suddenly. You and Jason cross to where she's staring into a big, strange-looking mirror with a red frame. You peek in. Cool, you exclaim with your glimpse when you glimpse your reactions. Stacy's head is tiny. Your head is as big as a watermelon, while your body is wide, fat, and very short. Jason is incredibly tall and skinny, and crimped like a crinkle-cut fry. It's a funhouse mirror, Jason cries. Maybe we could step through it, Stacy says, her eyes sparkling. That could be really fun. Before you can answer, a loud roar splits the air. It sounds as if a whole pride of lions is approaching. Your stomach knots. Oh, what's that? You stammer. I bet it's the Lario, Jason predicts grimly. Roar! A huge tan beast bounds into the tent. It's built like a lion, only bigger. Its toes are tipped like knife-like claws, but the thing's claws aren't nearly as scary as its face. It looks like a furry crocodile with a pointed snout and sharp, jagged teeth. Hundreds of them, and they're snapping at you. The ticket man pops his head through the doorway. Here's the Lario, he announces cheerfully. Ta-da! We've seen enough, you shout. Take it away. Sorry, he replies. It's time for the Lario's dinner. Oh, what does it eat? Stacy asks. The ticket man smiles. Kids, he replies. Stacy gulps. Could we forget I asked? She mutters. The Lario ambles towards you, drooling. You glance around desperately. There's a gap between the tent and the grass outside. Can you squeeze through before the Lario pounces, or should you try to step through the funhouse mirror? So, do you duck through the gap, or do you try the funhouse mirror? The choice is yours, Death shall creep. A half lion, half alligator, all fluff, is about to eat you for dinner. Oh, to the funhouse. Excellent. You'll never make it through the gap fast enough to escape the Lario. All together, you shout. We'll go to the funhouse mirror. What if it's not that kind of mirror? Jason asks. Then more monster meat, Stacy tells him. The Lario's hot breath sears the back of your neck. In the funhouse mirror, it appears even bigger, more terrifying. Its teeth are the size of shovels. It opens its mouth wide, wider. It's about to bite your head off. 1, 2, 3, Geronimo! You shout and dive straight into the mirror. Jason and Stacy are on either side of you. To your relief, its surface is soft and rubbery. Your arms and legs tingle as your body passes through. You hit the ground on the other side. Thud, thud. Jason and Stacy land beside you. You're lying on some kind of wooden platform. Phew! We're safe, you exclaim, picking yourself up. Then you get a good look at Stacy, and you realize you spoke too soon. Stacy has grown. Her arms and legs are like pudgy balloons, but her head has shrunk to the size of an apple. What's wrong with you, you gasp. With me, Stacy demands. Her voice is high and squeaky. She sounds like a talking gerbil. I was about to ask you the same thing. Your head looks like a balloon. You both look like weirdos, Jason screams. You glance at him. Then you stare at him. He's become tall and skinny. Really, really skinny. His whole body is no thicker than a broomstick. His arms and legs are like pieces of spaghetti. His eyes are two tiny dots and a long, thin head. You can't help but laugh. The twins look so weird, but your laugh booms out of its as if it's coming through a megaphone. You reach up and touch your face. You could fit a basketball in your mouth. It's huge, and your head is simply enormous. It's all too clear what happened. Going through the funhouse mirror has somehow changed your bodies. Now you look like funhouse reflections. At that moment, a bank of lights flashes on, blinding you. What's going on? Jason cries in panic. Where's the door? Stacy yells. Who's there? You demand. A deep voice sparks from the darkness. It asks, contestants, are you ready? What? We need help, you exclaim. Your eyes are adjusting, but you can tell where the voice comes from. The judges are ready, the voice says, as if you hadn't spoken. You're the most beautiful entrance we've ever seen. What's with this guy, you wonder? Is he nuts? Is this some kind of sick joke? You and your twins are the weirdest looking freaks you've ever laid eyes on. This is a mistake, you cry. We didn't enter any contest. Be quiet and look beautiful, the voice orders. The beauty contest is about to begin. You hear applause. Contestant number 1, the voice calls. A spotlight skewers Jason. Turn around. Jason shrugs and turns around, showing off his weird, tall, skinny body. An unseen audience claps enthusiastically. Number 2, the voice orders Stacy. Smile at the crowd. Stacy smiles with her tiny mouth and waves eagerly. The applause is polite, but it isn't as loud as it was for Jason. Number 3, the voice booms. A spotlight shines down on you. Open your mouth. Show the audience your fabulous teeth. You don't know what else to do, so you obey the voice. Your mouth is so big, your lower jaw hits the floor. The audience yells and hoots. They love you. And the winner is contestant number 3. The voice declares. You've won. It's weird, but you feel almost proud. You wave and bow, blushing all over your enormous face. Then the stage lights go out. You can finally see the audience. They're funhouse freaks just like you. Their faces and bodies are twisted and warped, bloated and bent. And every single one of them is gazing adoringly at you. But don't let it give you a swelled head. The end. And that concludes Death Shall Creep's story. Rather fun how we became a funhouse freak with the rest of his friends, Jason and Stacy, forever trapped in an alternate dimension. One of twisted limbs, distorted bodies, where you'll now be stuck in an audience for the rest of your remaining days. We need to get the Rita laugh. So there we go. Although technically a survivor. At least I didn't die, I guess. True. Just trapped in a foreboding freak show world. Waiting to have your new life. But that was just one of many tales for tonight. Dare I say, is there anyone else in the stream who is just as brave as Death Shall Creep? Little, if you're still here, are you brave enough? Team Puffins. any takers? Is there anyone? Who out there among us is brave enough? No takers? No one out there is brave? Not a single one of you? No one has what it takes to fuel the All Hallows spirit? Well, and I indeed have to give the only gold star to the only contestant brave enough. They be scared. It's true. It's true. Ditch'll creep you've earned your gold star. Wear it proud on your freak show body. Your ginormous head. With your wide-jawed mouth. And your towering voice of beauty. For you are beautiful in this world, you must remember. Perhaps even the most beautiful. Not to mention you did win a freak show beauty contest, so that's got to count for something. That has definitely got to count for something. While we wait, again I ask, are there any more brave souls in the stream? Chat. Is anyone else brave enough? All right, tough crowd, tough crowd. Seems as if no one is particularly brave. Maybe they need the All Hallows spirit. In that case, it's time for me to begin reading from Edgar Allan Poe. A short story, we would have it. A great story. Allow me a moment to go to my bookshelf of horror. That I can recite to you a passage to dwell on your mind. Ah. I volunteer as tribute. Sorry for the delay. The small infant child, awoke from his slumber. Excellent. For I also have my short stories to read. We will get to them after the next tale. So, in keeping with the spirit of tonight, Team Puffins, I ask you to choose one number between 1 and 11, except for 10, of course. So choose any number between 1 and 11, except for 10. Are ye brave? Mambo number 5. Excellent choice. Ooh, this is a return of a classic. Let's see if anyone can do it. Here we go. We begin our tale. Here we are, Team Puffins. You can't believe it. You stare at the window. Excuse me, let me get some water really quick for these tales to tell. Alright, here we go. We'll begin your tale. You can't believe it. You stare out the window at a creepy cemetery in your grandmother's backyard. The graves are moving, you're sure of it. And you turn to see an even more frightening sight. Your grandmother's house is haunted by ghosts. Lots of ghosts who want you. Who are the creeping coffins creeping? Sorry, why are the creeping coffins creeping? Do you stay to find out? Race home. Sorry. Why are the creeping coffins creeping? Do you stay to find out, or do you race home? Even though a terrifying ghost is waiting for you there too. If you stay to discover that the coffins are spelling a message in the graveyard, a message that spells out your doom, and as you can find the ghost who is the keeper of the sword, steal the sword and plunge it into the grave of the MPG. What's an MPG? You have to find out for yourself, but hurry. The ghosts are moving closer and closer. You're in control of the scary adventure. You decide what will happen and how terrifying the scares will be. Now we begin. Take a deep breath. Cross your fingers. And try not to give yourself goosebumps. I'm confident I'm dying in the storyline. We will find out. I'm bored, you moan. I'm so bored. I can eat flies just to see how they taste. Flies have germs, your grandmother replies. It's a hot, sticky day in the middle of July. You plop down into a creaky old chair in your grandmother's kitchen. Your parents dropped you off yesterday before they left for their vacation. and already you could die of boredom. Your grandmother's old dog, Sparkle, you say. You sigh loudly. Why don't you go outside and find something to do, your grandmother suggests. She looks up from the pie she's baking and nods towards the backyard. Go out there, you think? Into her backyard? No way. You glance out the window. It's probably 90 degrees in the shade, but you shiver. Ugh. Their grandmother's house is right in front of an old cemetery. Rows and rows of old, crumbling tombstones sit just beyond the edges of the backyard. But that's not what scares you. What scares you is that the tombstones have been moving. You noticed it right after you arrived yesterday. You saw the tombstones from your bedroom window on the second floor. You could tell some of the graves had cool carvings on them, so you decided to go outside and take a closer look. But when you entered the graveyard, something was different. Strange. Some of the graves were out of place. Nah, can't be, you told yourself. Graves don't disappear. But still, from your bedroom window, you could have sworn there were 6 or 7 graves in the back row. Now there were only 3. Nah. You must have counted wrong. You decided to forget it and went to bed. When you woke up in the morning and glanced out the window, the coffins had moved again. Now there were 10 in the back row. And the middle row seems more crowded. It almost looks as if some of the graves were moving forward and some of the graves were moving backward. And there was a big traffic jam in the center. The coffins were rearranging themselves. But how? And why? Your grandmother taps you on the shoulder. She snaps you out of your daydream. Go on, she says. Go play outside. Outside? Out there? You shudder. As you glance at the kitchen window again. Oh no, you cry. It disappeared. What's disappeared? Your grandmother asks. The grave with the angel on it. You screech, pointing out the window. It's gone. One headstone in particular caught your eye yesterday. It had an angel carving on it. The angel looked so realistic you practically believed she could fly away. Did she? Your grandmother peers into the kitchen window. Don't be a goose, she scolds you. The tombstone is still there. You don't answer her. You can't. Your heart is pounding crazily and your mouth has gone dry. You bolt out the kitchen door. You gotta see for yourself. Back in the graveyard, you discover that your grandmother is right. The tombstone with the angel isn't gone. It's just moved. It had been in the last row. Now it's up in the front. I'm losing my mind. You think losing it completely? Or are you? You run back into the house shouting, Grandma, you yell. The grave with the angel on it. Your grandmother interrupts you. You don't have to shout, dear. The angel. She looks up from the pie crust. That's a nice one. Let me see. Who's buried there? Oh, yeah. That's Elmira Martin's grave. Before you can explain about the moving gravestone, a voice on the far end of the room makes you jump. The name is Elvira Martin, the voice says sharply, not Elmira. You never could get my name right. Your mouth drops open. A strange woman now stands at the doorway that leads from the kitchen into the hall. A very strange woman. Because she isn't a living, breathing woman. She's a ghost. Grandma, you begin. But the way your grandma is humming to herself, you can tell she can't see or hear the scary visitor. And don't you stare at me, you little wretch, the ghost says, pointing at you, or you'll be sorry. What are you gonna do? Suddenly you're living in a haunted house. Do you run outside, Team Puffins, or do you talk to the ghost? The choice is yours. Sorry, Grandma. I got to 9021. Oh, go. Running outside it is. She had to 9021. Go. I'm going outside, you stutter. That's nice, your grandma says, returning to her baking. And when you come back in, I hope you'll stop being so silly. She still doesn't notice the ghost in the doorway. You back up towards the door to the porch. You keep your eyes on the ghost the whole time, and she keeps her glowing eyes on you. As soon as your hand reaches the doorknob behind you, you turn, fling open the door, and bolt. But just as you start down the back porch, two hands grab your ankle. Ah! You cry as you trip. You sprawl headfirst down the stairs. Ouch! You land face down at the bottom of the steps. Good thing it wasn't a long flight of stairs. You're only bruised and scratched. You scraped your chin, but nothing's broken. You hear a boy's voice say. You turn towards the voice. You want to see the jerk who made you trip. Hey, wait a minute. There was no jerk behind you. You blinked to be sure. Yep, you're sure. There's absolutely no one standing at the top of the stairs or anywhere else. The boy's voice taunts again. Gotcha. A girl's voice joins in. Right in front of your amazed eyes, a boy and a girl slowly begin to materialize. When they finally take shape, you can see that they're teenagers, but teenagers from a long time ago. The boy is dressed in a funny-looking black suit with a frilly white shirt and shiny black shoes. The girl is wearing a long, old-fashioned white linen dress. Her hair is braided, and her braids are wrapped around her head 3 times. The boy and girl look almost solid, but not quite. You can see right through them. Boo! They shout at the same time. Then they double over with hysterical laughter. Your heart is still pounding wildly. Is this really happening? Or are you daydreaming? There's one way to find out. Pinch yourself. If it hurts, or if it doesn't hurt, let me know. Pinch yourself. Did it hurt? We need to know, Team Puffkins. It hurts. No doubt about it. You're definitely awake. This is really happening, which means you are face to face with 2 teenage ghosts. You stand up and brush yourself off. Who are you, you ask, trying not to let your voice tremble. What do you want? What are you doing here? I'm Jane Luckmeyer, the girl ghost says, and this is my dearly beloved twin brother, John. John bows deeply. Then he sticks out his tongue. Oh, John, Jane cries. This will be so much fun. Yes, dear sister, John answers. We haven't had anyone to torment in ages. An eternity, Jane agrees. But I've spent the time thinking of even more horrible tricks and tortures. You don't like the sound of that. These 2 creeps have something to do with the creeping coffins? Tell me something, you say. Hoping you sound casual. Why have the coffins been moving around? But the twins don't answer you. Instead, they crack horribly and grin at you. The Luckmeyer twins float down the steps towards you, and they both have an evil glint in their eyes. Uh-oh. These 2 spell trouble. Double trouble. Run, you tell yourself. Which way? If you run away from them, you'll be running straight towards the graveyard. But your only way back into the house is by getting past the Luckmeyer twins first. They're floating closer and closer to you, and John is hiding something behind his back. You freeze. You can't decide what to do. You know John is up to something, and you know you better not stick around to find out what it is. But which way should you go? Don't think. Run! Do you run to the graveyard, Team Puffins, or do you try and slip past the twins back into your house with dear old grandmama? What do you do? Slip past those lames. Excellent choice. You run up the steps, darting sideways to get past John, but he grabs you with one hand. Whoa! For a see-through guy, John is strong. On his other hand, he dangles a ghostly snake before your eyes. Yikes! The snake hisses in your face. Its fangs drop ghostly poison. John and Jane laugh as your terrified expression. John shoves a hissing snake into your face again. Its tongue darts in and out between its razor-sharp fangs. Can a ghost snake hurt you? The pain where John is clutching your arm makes you think it probably can. You swallow hard and lurch away from him. Luckily, he and Jane don't try to follow. With a yank, you pull open the grandmother's kitchen door. Yikes again, the other ghost, Elvira, is standing right there. So you came back, she snarls. You may regret that. She turns and floats into the hall. Then she floats up the stairs towards your room. Follow her. You follow Elvira to your room on the second floor. The moment you step into the bedroom, she slams the door. Then she whirls around to face you. Her eyes turn green and begin to glow. You back up, stumbling, and fall into the bed. Little wretch, she says. I don't want any trouble from you. Sparks seem to fly from her flashing green eyes. You shrink back into the pillows. Then Elvira gazes around the room. Yes, she says. This will do nicely. What do you mean, you stammer? Elvira floats towards the bed. She hovers over you. I'm taking over this room. Now, she tells you. Get out! You would love to leave, but you're shaking too hard to get up. Besides, you have to find out what's going on. Elvira is the only one who can explain it to you. Please, you beg. Just tell me why you are here. Why are the graves moving? Shut up, she screeches. Get off that bed. I want to lie down. I haven't slept in a bed in 51 years. Uh-oh. You realize you weren't just dealing with a ghost here. You're dealing with a ghost in a very bad mood. You better do what she says. You jump up from the bed. Elvira lies down, nearly spreading her white satin dress over the covers. Her long red hair fans out across the pillow. Ah, she says. A real bed. She shuts her eyes. You hope she doesn't sleep too long. You have so many questions to ask. And you hope she'll be in a better mood when she wakes up. She dozes for exactly 2 minutes. Then her eyes pop open. You notice they aren't glowing green anymore. Ah, Elvira says. That's better. Now she's awake. You're not sure how to begin, and you're almost too freaked out to speak, but you have to know. Why are the graves moving, you ask? What's going on? It's the curse of the creeping coffins, the ghostly woman answers. And we're moving into this house. All of us. All of us? Oh, what does that mean? What do you mean, all of you? You manage to stammer. You ask too many questions. Uh-oh. Elvira's eyes flash green again. Don't get in our way, and maybe we'll let you live. She soars up over her head and glares down at you. And don't you go talking to that ghost hunter McFarlane either, Elvira adds. And the next instant, she floats backward and disappears into the wall. McFarlane? A ghost hunter? You are startled by loud, chomping footsteps above you. You glance up at the ceiling. The light fixture is shaking. It sounds as if a whole crowd wearing chunky boots is stomping around in the attic. Who could it be? So, ghostly menopause. If you want to find out about the McFarlane ghost hunter, or do you want to find out who's in the attic? The choice is yours, Team Puffykins. What's making the sound in the attic? Or who is this ghost hunter? What do you want to find out more? Wait. Which information could be vital to this very moment. Hunter of the ghosts. Wise choice. The ghost hunter. This is exactly what you need. But how are we gonna find out this McFarlane guy? You dash out of your room and run down the stairs as fast as you can. You rush back into the kitchen. Grandma, you grasp, almost out of breath. Do you know someone named McFarlane? Oh, don't go talking to me about McFarlane, she says. That loon, he came around here last month, told me that he thought my house would be haunted soon. Said something about a curse, too. Can you imagine that? I don't want you going anywhere near that man. Ugh, let's face it, Granny's not going to be much help. So you race up on the computer. On a hunch, you search for the ghost exterminators. Bingo, there he is. Mac McFarland, ghost hunter. There may be hope after all, as long as you can get out of the house before Valura finds out what you're doing. Shh. Tiptoe out of the door. You do. Luckily, everything in your grandma's small town is within biking distance. 20 minutes later, you biked over to Mac McFarland's office, what happens to be located in his garage. You knock on the side door of the garage. Come in, a voice calls. You yank open the door. Wow! You think when you see him? Mac McFarland has frizzy, kinky blonde hair sticking out all over his head. He's wearing 6 earrings, a nose ring, and a pair of heavy black frame glasses with blue lenses in them. He's about 20 years old. So, that's why your grandmother didn't like him. He's cool! What's up? McFarland asks. You look like you've just seen a ghost, he laughs. Sorry, just a little ghost hunting humor. You explain about Elvira and that she told you the ghosts are going to take over your grandmother's house. I've been expecting this, McFarland says, shaking his head. I tried to warn your grandmother. Could you help us? You plead. His eyes are hidden behind the blue lenses. You can't tell what he's thinking. Will Mac McFarland help you? Suddenly, McFarland swings into gear. He picks up a strange electronic box and heads for the door. Come on, he says. We've got to hurry. Let's go. Finally, someone who can help you. You feel better already. McFarland jumps into his car, an old BMW Bug. You hop on your bike as you ride to your grandmother's house. He drives along beside you. He rolls down the window and talks to you the whole time. Have the gravestones been moving around, he asks. Yes, you exclaim. So you're not crazy. Why are they doing that? I'm not sure, he says. I've only seen it once before, but I think they're moving into position to spell out some kind of message. Or curse. Graves can spell? That doesn't sound possible. But you're ready to believe anything now. How could we stop them, you ask Mac. It won't be easy, he tells you. You were afraid of that. First, McFarland explains, you'll have to fight the Keeper of the Sword. It's one of the ghosts. You need to get the special sword and use it to stop the MPG. What's the MPG, you ask? The most powerful ghost, McFarland says. It's a term for the spirit who has control over a graveyard. Once you have the sword, Mac continues, you must plunge it into the grave of the MPG. But you've got to hurry because when all the graves have moved into position and spell out the message, it'll be too late. The curse will be complete, and after that, you'll never be able to get the ghosts back into their graves. Your head is spinning from what Mac just told you, but you nod as if you understand. You've arrived at your grandmother's house. McFarland stops his car and hops out. You get off your bike and park it. McFarland faces your grandmother's house and switches on the funky electronic box he's carrying. Red dials light up when you hear a loud beeping sound. Uh-oh. McFarland says, major trouble. Give me $1. Do you give McFarland the $1, or do you not give him the $1? The choice is up to you. What do you choose? $1 or no $1? Give it to him. Money, 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 money. Money. Alright, excellent. He shall have his $1. You reluctantly hand McFarland a $1 bill. He folds the $1 in half twice. Then he jams it into a tiny slot in his electronic box. A minute later, the beeping stops. The box spits the $1 back out. Thanks, McFarland says. The spirit counter was jammed. He gives the $1 back to you. Weird, you think, but it seems to have worked. Then McFarland stares at the red dials on his machine. Bad news, kid, McFarland says, finally. By my count, there are 10 ghosts at the house already. That's way over my limit. You're on your own. He starts back towards his car. Wait, you call after him. You can't leave me here. Please, you have to help me. McFarlane hesitates for a minute. He shrugs. Okay, he says. This is what I'm willing to do. I'll help you make a map of the graveyard. Come on. Map of the graveyard? What for, you wonder? But you don't ask questions. You just follow Mac into the cemetery, and you do what he tells you. An hour later, you've got a drawing of the first front row of the gravestones. And now allow me to show you your gruesome, grueling sketch. There's your sketch. You stare down at the map of gravestones in your hand. You wonder how it can possibly help. Big trouble, Max says, peering over your shoulder. The message is already almost completely spelled out. What message, you ask, puzzled. Look at the first 4 rows, he says, pointing at the paper. The rest of the graves don't matter. That's why I didn't put them on the map. Take a pen and circle the first letter of the last name of each tombstone. It spells out a message. Don't you see? No, you don't see, and you won't see until you do it. So do it. Circle the first letter of the last name of each of the tombstones. It will spell out a message, or part of one. Now you must do some journalistic investigation. What does it spell, Teen Puffkins? Remember, circle the first letter of the last name on each of the tombstones. Damn. You could also probably just type it into the chat so we all can see. You will disown. I knew it. I'ma die. I'll help you out. So, let's put this into the chat. So we put a Y. We put an O. We put a U. We put a W. We put an I. We put an L. We put another L. We put a D. We put an I. We put an S. We put an O, and an N. And what does that spell? Will die soon. That is not good. Oh no, you gasp. You stare at the map and at the message spelled out on the gravestones. You will die. You will die soon? So that's a terrible message the graves are moving around to spell. And is the you, or is the curse directed at your grandma? Either way, it's super bad news. Mac, you say, there's only one letter missing. Only one more coffin has to creep into place, and then the curse will be complete, Mac says. He turns and walks back to his car. Wait, you call after him. You call after him. He stops, but only long enough to pull out a business card. Here, he says. Call me after you defeat the Keeper of the Sword. I'll tell you what to do next. He jumps back into his VW bug, leaving you standing in front of your grandmother's house. Oh, he calls out as he starts to drive off. 2 things to remember. Be sure to find out the name of the Keeper of the Sword, and stay away from the Luckmeyer twins. The Luckmeyer twins, you think? If you've met the Luckmeyer twins already, maybe your fate has been sealed. The Luckmeyer twins? What are they up to now, you wonder? As McFarlane drives off, you notice that the sky is growing dark. Night is falling, and there's a thin, wispy ring of clouds around the moon. An owl hoots nearby, then it swoops towards you. Its claws seem to be aimed right for your face. You duck and feel the tip of its wing brush past your cheeks. When you glance up, you notice a curtain moving in the window on the 2nd floor of your grandmother's house. There they are. The teenage ghost and his twin sister with the braids wrapped around her head, Jane and John Luckmeyer. John points down at you and laughs evilly. I hope he's not the Keeper of the Sword, you think. Then, nope, it ain't her. No way. Then you notice something strange up in the attic window. A light flickers on and off. On and off. Something is up there. Is it the Keeper of the Sword? There's only one way to find out. You take a deep breath, and you head towards the house. The haunted house. So, what do you think, Team Puffkins? Do you think John Luckmeyer is the Keeper of the Sword? Or do you think the Keeper of the Sword is in the attic? Make your decision. Is one of the Luckmeyer twins holding the sword? Or could the Keeper of the Sword be in the attic turning the lights on and off? Kinda like Nosferatu and SpongeBob. What was turning off and on these lights? Nosferatu. He's a flake. I take it you think the Keeper of the Sword is in the attic then? I'm dying anyways. The attic we go. Using the back door, you quietly slip into the house. Then you sneak up the back staircase to the 2nd floor. You peek around the corner carefully. You don't want to run into the Luckmeyers. When you're sure the coast is clear, you start up the stairs towards the attic. As soon as you step into the doorway, you see a huge soldier standing at the top of the third floor landing. His uniform is old-fashioned. Civil War, you guess. And judging from the medals pinned to his gray jacket, this guy knows what he's doing. And what he's doing right now is pulling a sword from its holder. The sword is about 5 feet long. The handle is mother of pearl, encrusted with sapphires. The blade gleams. Even in the darkness, you can see that it's dangerously sharp. The enormous soldier points the sword at your heart. You do not advance one more step unless you are willing to die, he booms. You can't take your eyes off the sword. The longer you stare at it, the more your legs shake. Then it dawns on you. The soldier must be the Keeper of the Sword. So what are you going to do? Run and hide? Definitely. Trembling in fear, you start to back up. That's when you feel a sharp point sticking you in the back, right between your shoulder blades. Ow! You cry out. Turning around, big trouble behind you was another ghost. And this one's dressed in a fencing costume. White canvas pants, a wire mesh mask, leather gloves. Unga! The new ghost says. The voice echoes all around you. From the voice, you know this ghost is a woman. Then you realize something. She has a sword too. 2 ghosts, 2 swords, both dangerous. But only one has the sword you need. Which one? Do you think the fencer is the Keeper of the Sword? Or do you think it's the soldier with the mother of pearl? Mother of pearl! What is your decision, Team Puffkins? Now we wait for your answer to your doom. You think the fencer is the keeper of the sword? Or do you think it's the soldier? The soldier. Can I phone a friend? You can if you like, but still the decision is yours to make. Are you team soldier boy or fencer for life? Leia. What does Leia? Soldier boy. Ah, excellent choice. You decide the enormous Civil War soldier must be the keeper of the sword. You face him and the fencing ghost behind you vanishes. But you can't seem to lift your eyes from the sharp blade of the soldier's weapon. Are you the keeper of the sword, you ask him, your voice trembling. No, he bellows. Then he lunges forward and charges at you. Ah! You scream in terror. You turn and run for your life, down the stairs, out of the front door, into the night. You don't look back, but you don't have to. You can hear the ghost of the soldier behind you. His heavy boots thud against the ground. You dash across the front yard toward the road. You manage to put some distance between you and the ghost. But then something grabs your foot. Smack! Your hands hit the gravel as the side of the road as you fall flat on your face. You glance down to see that what made you fall. Just a gnarled tree root. Prepare to die, the soldier shouts as he stomps towards you. Quickly you rush. The Civil War soldier rushes his huge sword. You quickly run out of the way. The sword plunges into the ground. You scramble to your feet and run as the soldier wrestles the blade out of the dirt. Where can you go? What can you do? Your heart pounds as you race down the road toward town. Maybe you can get help. Maybe the police will drive you. Maybe someone besides you will see the Civil War soldier and do something to save you. Maybe not. You see two choices up ahead. There's a small bridge that crosses a narrow river. If you run to the bridge, maybe you can hide under it. You can also see a small red barn across the street. It's behind the farmhouse across from the grandmother's house. Another good hiding place? Which is it? The bridge or the barn? Where do you run to? The bridge or do you try to hide in the barn? The choice is yours, Team Puffkins. Run to the bridge or hide in the barn. What do you choose? Tick-tock, tick-tock. To the bridge. You run to the bridge. The bridge looks good to you. You can slip down the bank to the river and hide under it. You might be able to sneak around and change directions. Maybe you'll lose the soldier after all. Before you even reach the riverbank, you feel a heavy hand on your shoulder. Halt, traitor! The soldier cries. No, you scream, twisting away. You stumble a bit and lurch forward out of his grasp. You keep running. Finally, you reach the bridge. But the soldier is right behind you. He swings his sword wildly at you, as if to cut off your head. No, you cry again, jumping backward. Uh-oh. Backwards wasn't a good idea. You've just leaped off the bridge, and it's a long way down. Oh, that hurt. You have a 50-50 chance of surviving that fall. Remember, you got a 50-50 chance. I'm about to flip a coin. Is this your lucky penny? We're about to find out. And the outcome was heads. The coin toss was heads. That means you don't survive the fall from the bridge. Sorry. So now you are a ghost, roaming the neighborhood, haunting everyone in sight. And for a while, scaring people is fun. But soon you get tired of people screaming whenever you appear. And some people can't even see. For some reason, not everyone is able to see ghosts. You begin to understand why the Luckmeyer twins play pranks and practical jokes. It's a goof. So you start doing it too, playing tricks on people. You move their coffee cups while they're not looking. You raise their windows right after they've closed them. You wrinkle their clothes while they're ironing them. You steal key pieces from jigsaw puzzles when people aren't looking. Then one day you go too far. You do something really evil. You go through a book with a black felt marker and cross off all the page numbers. The only problem is, it was this book, and it's the only one you're in. Which is why, sad to say, this is really and truly your end. And another twisted tale comes to a close. Team Puffkins became a ghost. Dead Shell Creep won a fashion contest as the freakiest freak in all of Mirror World. These are just two stories, two of many tales that have yet to be told during Horror Month. And if there are no other brave souls, I think that'll bring our night to its end. Or it is late. My apologies on starting later than intended. I still have the better ending. Indeed, getting lost in your own tale, while Dead Shell Creep became a fashionista. A weirdly proportioned people in a world backwards to our own. But like I said, these were just two tales. Two tales to tell this very night. I will return next week to have more tales read. Perhaps I'll have new stream guests jumping at the chance for me to narrate their doom. You did better than last year. Tis true, tis true. There are many ways these tales, the paths which we choose, will lead us. But who's to find out? We shall see. Like the Highland cow says, I may have no tail, but I have a tale to tell. And as it was told this very night, as we approached All Hallows Eve, where the magic is strong. But that shall conclude our adventures for tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Please, I ask, if you have friends and family, invite them to stream. More the merrier. We will do another reading of Tales to Tell next week, hopefully on Monday night, where I will be on time, and there shall be no shenanigans from tiny infant children with brass knuckles and the long hours of the night. But of course, like I always say, after every ending of the stream, thank you again everyone who just participated. For becoming a ghost, Team Puffkins, I award you the only thing I can. And that is a gold star. But yes, we will be back next week. I will be having a stream tomorrow. It is Throwdown Thursday. It is the only non-horror stream I've had this month so far. Tekken can be horrifying when you're losing. Pow! Yay! Indeed. You earned it. Becoming the ghost with the most. But we will be back tomorrow night for some Tekken. Friday will be some Marvel snapping for the 2nd anniversary stream of Twitch drops, so get excited about that. This Saturday I have spooky board games lined up with some friends and stream guests. Could be 1, could be 2. We will find out. That should be very exciting to fit the theme. And possibly a Marvel snap stream Sunday evening to lock in the full 6 hours of snap drops. So if you're excited about that, make sure to be available Sunday night. But those are my streams for the rest of the week. I will be back next week to read more tales of terror for other unsuspecting. Sorry, did I say unsuspecting? I mean other brave souls. And perhaps a reading of the book of Edgar Allan Poe to tide us over in nights such as this. Noise. Indeed, indeed. So hopefully we can get some more volunteers, and it'll be a good time. But until then, it's time for what my number 1 mod, the DAD Dad Bod, Dim Kira calls the Truman Show outro. So to everyone hanging out with me for the end of this stream, thank you for hanging out. As I say, your viewership and support never goes unnoticed or taken for granted, so thank you again for hanging out with me tonight. It was a lot of fun. I look forward to more tales next week. I just want to say, no matter where you're watching from, I hope everybody has a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I'm your narrator, Eggo, the visual culturist, signing out. I will see you for more scares next week and on the weekend. So, until then, take care, everybody. I hope you all find $20 randomly on the ground. I hope that special someone you're thinking of texts you back. In whatever situation you have lingering on your mind, I hope ultimately favors you in the end. And remember, we ain't afraid of no ghosts. So until next time, everybody, take care. Peace.